I was 6 years old again. Reborn. I'd been at the children's home for a long time, but unlike my last life, my parents never came to get me. I had to rely on my own memories, stumbling my way back to the address I once called home. But there, I overheard a conversation that made it clear they didn't want me. My sister, for years older than me, was speaking. Last time, it was all because of Ethan. If he hadn't been around, Cody never would have died in that accident. I hate him, she spat. I froze at the front door, my hand hovering over the handle. I was Ethan. Cody was the boy my parents adopted after I went missing. My father's voice was thick with anger. Cody stealing money from us was wrong, but Ethan yelling at him was worse. He got yelled at, felt terrible, and chugged a few beers before he went for a drive. That's why he was so out of it when he drove in oncoming traffic, why he couldn't swerve in time to avoid that truck. My mother was just as furious. It's all Ethan's fault. If he had just helped Cody pass his driver's test, Cody would have had a license. He would have understood the rules. He would have known you don't drink and drive. Ethan Prescott is a murderer, she declared. I don't want him back in this house. My father and sister agreed. And outside the door, the son who was about to come home stood, tears streaming down his face. Mr. Morgan, a flash flood is coming. It's going to happen any day now. You have to believe me. I was back at the Spring Meadows Children's Home. Back at age 6. Reborn after I'd gotten lost on the street one day. The police had found me and brought me here. In my previous life, I only stayed at Spring Meadows for 3 months before my parents found me and took me home. This time, I'd been here for half a year, and they still hadn't come. But that wasn't the immediate problem. The problem was, according to the timeline of my past life, this entire valley was about to be wiped out by a massive flash flood. I had no choice. I had to convince the adults to evacuate. Mr. Morgan, please, you have to trust me. In a few days, this whole place will be underwater. We have to leave now. I tried telling the other staff, too. Aunties, uncles, I know the weather is perfect right now, but it's going to turn. A huge storm is coming. We're in a remote valley out here. There's no one around to help us. We need to get out ahead of it. You have to believe me. But they were just the words of a child. The adults would just smile, ruffle my hair, and not take me seriously. But it was real. In my first life, after I'd gone home, I'd always felt a warmth for this place. The 3 months I spent here were filled with a kindness I rarely saw elsewhere. I followed the news about them from time to time. A few months after I left, I read about the disaster. A sudden flash flood in this remote valley. Many people had died. Such good people, gone from the world. The pain of it had stayed with me for years. After being reborn, my first thought was how to save them, how to get them out before the danger hit. But no one believes a kid. My original plan was to wait for my parents. I'd beg them to help. They might not be reborn like me, but they loved me, or so I thought, and would do anything I asked. I could use that love to save Spring Meadows. I'd ask them to fund a trip for everyone at the home, get them all out of the valley for a few days right when the flood was supposed to hit. The Prescott Corporation was famous. Sponsoring a trip for 100 or so people was nothing to them. The problem was the first step. My parents had to come get me. It was already 3 months past the date they'd picked me up in my last life. No one had come. I couldn't wait any longer. The flood was almost here. If they weren't coming for me, I would go to them and make them save the home. It took some time, but I pieced together the route from memory and found my way to the Prescott estate. I stood at the grand front door of the house. My hand was on the brass handle, about to turn it, when I heard them talking inside. My father spoke first. The preschool teacher called me, said Cody didn't cry or throw a tantrum at all today. After I'd gone missing, my family had adopted a boy my age and named him Cody Prescott. Cody's so amazing. That was my sister, Chloe. Her voice was bright with adoration. Last life, when we sent him to preschool, he cried for weeks. He didn't cry this time. It must be because we've given him enough love. At that, my mother sighed. It's a shame only the 3 of us were reborn. Cody didn't come back with us. If he had, we could finally make up for all the love we failed to give him last time. Chloe hugged our mother. Her voice was comforting, but laced with a sharp-edged hate. Mom, Dad, don't be sad. Cody's car crash was all Ethan's fault. He didn't deserve to be my brother. He killed my other brother, the monster. My father's hands clenched into fists. I could imagine the veins bulging in his neck. I can't believe I raised such a heartless, vicious son. So Cody stole some money. Who the hell is Ethan Prescott to act like he's the boss of this house? To have the nerve to lecture Cody? That's why it happened, he continued, his voice rising. Cody was in a bad mood, so he drank before driving. When he saw that truck coming at him, his mind was cloudy. He couldn't react, and he slammed right into it. My mother pressed a hand to her chest, her face a mask of shattered despair. The root cause is that Ethan never made sure Cody passed his driver's test. If Cody had a license, How could he not know the basic rule of don't drink and drive? It's all Ethan's fault. Chloe nodded emphatically, agreeing completely. Ethan did it on purpose. He killed Cody because he was afraid Cody would compete with him for the family inheritance. That's why he criticized him, why he wouldn't help him pass the test. A person with a heart that black isn't my brother. My only brother is Cody. I don't want Ethan Prescott stepping foot in this house, she declared. Don't bring him back. My mother nodded. Then, a thought seemed to strike her. Don't worry, honey. Your father and I will never bring that bastard home, but what if he comes back on his own? The three of us were reborn, but Cody wasn't. What about Ethan? What if he was reborn too, and he comes looking for us? Chloe's brow furrowed. She was speechless for a moment. My father snorted. Don't worry. If he's been reborn and finds his way back here, we'll take control of him. We'll lock him in the basement. Last life, we failed Cody. We didn't give him enough love. This life, we will not make the same mistake. We won't let Ethan harm him again. Just a door away, I was drenched in a cold sweat. In my last life, Cody had a better personality than me. He was outgoing, knew how to make my parents and sister happy. It was only natural they loved him more. But his charm was a cover for something darker. He started stealing money from the house, pawning family heirlooms. First, it was a few $1,000s. Then tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions. It never stopped. I finally snapped after he sold an antique vase that had been in our family for generations. I laid into him, screaming. His feelings hurt. He went drinking, then took his car out to race on the winding mountain roads, driving against traffic. He hit a semi-truck and died instantly. The police investigation revealed he was driving without a license. After his death, my entire family turned on me. They said it was my fault. They said I was jealous of the love Cody received, that I was afraid he'd cut me out of the inheritance, and that's why I deliberately provoked him, knowing it would send him spiraling. They even blamed me for him not having a driver's license. They can't find out I've been reborn. The thought was a shard of ice in my gut. They'll lock me in the basement. How will I save the children's home then? My heart turned to stone. I fled from the Prescott house. I returned to Spring Meadows. The result was the same. No adult would believe the words of a child. They just smiled at my warnings. I could understand it, but this wasn't the time for understanding. It was time for action. The days ticked by. Tonight was the night of the flood. There's no other way. I have to use that method. When no one was looking, I picked up a brick from the ground. My heart pounded. I squeezed my eyes shut and brought it down hard against my own head. Crack, crack. I hit myself again and again, wildly, until my face was a ruined mess and blood was streaming from my scalp. Ethan, what happened to you? Mr. Morgan found me, his face a canvas of shock at the sight of my bruised, bloody features. He rushed over. I winced, the pain so sharp it felt like my teeth were grinding to dust. It took me a long moment to force out the words. I fell. Mr. Morgan was so worried he could barely stand straight. My boy, how could you fall like this? The nurse here can't treat this. Quick, call 911. When the ambulance arrived, I refused to get in. I lay on the ground, a dead weight, and wouldn't let anyone move me. Mr. Morgan was frantic. He pleaded with me, his voice strained. Son, you have to go to the hospital right now. Please, Ethan, be a good boy, okay? I used every ounce of strength I had to refuse. My words came out broken and halting. Mr. Morgan, I'm scared to go to the hospital alone. I want everyone from the home to come with me, or I won't go. I won't. Grandpa Morgan, I told you, if everyone from Spring Meadows isn't there, I won't get treated. I started counting the faces around me. 1, 2, 3, 45, 46. It's not enough. Not everyone is here. Mr. Morgan, all the grown-ups, all the kids. I told you everyone has to be there, or I'll be too scared. And if I'm scared, I won't see the doctor. The adults still didn't believe my flood story. They coaxed me into the ambulance, planning to just get me to the hospital. When we arrived, I got out, but I stood my ground. Until I was certain every single person from the home was there, I would not see a doctor. They had no choice. Mr. Morgan had to call and have everyone brought over. The hospital was in the city center. In my previous life, the flash flood had only hit the valley where Spring Meadows was located. The surrounding areas were untouched, and there were no other people living in that remote valley. As long as I could get everyone from the home to the hospital, I could save them all. Ethan, everyone is here now, Mr. Morgan said, his voice laced with urgency. Please, son, go inside and let the doctors treat you. I counted them one by one, checking each face to make sure no one was missing. In my head, I was calculating the time. The flood was about to hit. The news would report soon. They wouldn't be going back to Spring Meadows. Thump! The last thread of adrenaline holding me together snapped. I collapsed to the ground, unconscious. I don't know how long it was before I woke up. When I opened my eyes, I found my entire head wrapped in bandages. Ethan, sniffle. I thought you were going to die. It was Leo, a kid from the home a year younger than me. The moment he saw my eyes open, he threw himself onto my hospital bed. I couldn't help but hiss in pain. Mister. Morgan quickly pulled him off me. Leo, be careful, he said with a gentle smile. You'll bump Ethan's wounds. Leo stuck his tongue out, grinning sheepishly. Then he remembered something and turned to me, his expression suddenly serious. Ethan, thank you for saving everyone at Spring Meadows. I nodded. I had already figured out my story for this. If I said I was reborn, no one would believe me, and I'd risk the Prescott family finding me and locking me in the basement. So when people asked, I would just say I'd dreamed about the flood. Everyone seemed to accept it. They thought the coincidence was astonishing, but they didn't press it. After all, there are plenty of things science can't explain. Maybe it was just a fluke. The flood had completely destroyed Spring Meadows. The buildings were gone. The food and storage was ruined. It would be a while before social services and donations arrived. We were put up in a new temporary shelter, and for a few days we ate through the food kind people had donated at the hospital. Soon, that ran out, and new supplies hadn't come yet. Though I looked like a child on the outside, I had the mind of an adult. I couldn't bring myself to fight with the other kids for what little food there was. I just made the excuse that I wasn't hungry and didn't eat anything. Leo walked over, holding a small sandwich. He scrunched up his nose. Ethan, this bread smells funny. You think it's gone bad? If I eat bad food, I'll get diarrhea, and I don't want to get diarrhea. I looked at the sandwich in his hand. It didn't look spoiled. Is it really bad? I asked. He handed it to me, shaking his head. I think so. It's not like my tongue is broken, right? Why don't you try it? If it's okay, you can give it back. If it's bad, we'll just throw it out. I didn't think much of it. I took a bite and chewed for a moment. It's fine, I said. You can eat it. Don't throw it away. Leo nodded and took the sandwich back, starting to munch on it. Slowly, a few of the kids came over. Ethan, my milk carton tastes weird. It must be expired. Yuck, these crackers are terrible. They're so hard. Here, Ethan, you can have them. My Hot Pocket fell on the floor. It's dirty. I don't eat dirty things. Ethan, if you don't mind, you can eat it. If I couldn't see what these kids were doing, I must have wasted my previous life. I was chewing on a small bag of chips someone had given me, and a tear slid down my cheek. Thank you. Thank you all. Leo patted my shoulder like a little old man. You don't have to thank us, Ethan, he vowed. We should be thanking you. If it weren't for you, who knows how many of us would have died at Spring Meadows. Besides, he added, we all live together. We're family. Mister. Morgan says family is supposed to take care of each other. You love me. I love you. We all have to love each other. I felt a daze come over me. Yeah, I murmured. Family taking care of each other. The next day, a shipment of donations arrived. Rebuilding at the old site was impossible, so we settled into our new location. This was the new Spring Meadows Children's Home. The news story got out, and many kind-hearted people came to donate money. Mr. Morgan and the staff were busy meeting with them, so the kids were left to their own devices. I was bored, sitting in the yard watching the other children play. Leo was kicking around a plastic bottle. After a while, drenched in sweat, he came and sat next to me. I made small talk. Leo, you got some really cool moves with that bottle. You're good. If you become a soccer player one day, you'll definitely be a champion. Leo's cheeks slowly turned red. He looked down shyly. I'm not that good, but I really do want to be a soccer star like the guys on the national team, winning championships for our country. To do that, I have to practice every day. I just wish I had a real soccer ball. Kicking a bottle all the time doesn't feel like real practice. As he was talking, before I could reply, a familiar set of voices sounded from nearby. A jolt went through me. I turned my head and saw them. My parents, my sister, and Cody. The four of them were standing right there, staring intently at my face. My expression froze. I couldn't say a word. It was Leo who spoke for me. Mr. Ma'am, can we help you? Why are you staring at Ethan? Are you thinking about adopting him? My father's eyes narrowed. His voice was low and dangerous. Ethan, you should only just be starting preschool. It's unlikely you'd know your own name so clearly. So, you're reborn too, aren't you? He cracked his knuckles, one by one, looking like a demon. Behind him, my mother and sister wore the same chilling expressions, silent, radiating an intimidating cold. A fine sweat broke out on my forehead. I instinctively took a step back. In my mind's eye, I could already see the horrifying image of being dragged away and locked in their basement. Thankfully, Mr. Morgan appeared. Mr. Prescott, Mrs. Prescott, what are you doing here? Hey, Ethan, you don't look so good. What's wrong? Ethan? Ethan Morgan. I snapped back to reality. Mr. Morgan, I'm sorry, I said quickly. I think I'm just not feeling well. I took a pretty bad fall, and it hasn't been that long since I got out of the hospital. As I spoke, I snuck a glance at the four Prescotts. When my father heard Mr. Morgan, his eyebrows knitted together into AV. Morgan. Ethan? This kid's name is Ethan Morgan? His last name is Morgan. After I'd overheard their conversation at the house, I had resolved to stay as far away from the Prescotts as possible. But I had already told Mr. Morgan my first name. Luckily, I hadn't told him my last name, so I lied and said it was Morgan. I'd also pretended to have amnesia. I had hoped to never cross paths with the Prescotts again, but here they were, coming to the children's home first. From the sound of their conversation with Mr. Morgan, if I wasn't mistaken, they were worried I had been reborn and were using donations as an excuse to test me. Amnesia, my father said, surprise and relief washing over his face. Mr. Morgan nodded. That's right, Mr. Prescott. Ethan had a bad fall. His face was covered in cuts. He lost a lot of blood. Because of that, the doctor said he has a concussion. Amnesia is one of the symptoms. Behind him, my mother and sister muttered to each other. No wonder he got his own last name wrong, saying he was a Morgan. This is good, this way Hill. They cut themselves off. Some things were better left unsaid. Seeing that the three of them were no longer suspicious, I let out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. But the relief was short-lived. Later, after Mr. Morgan took the three Prescotts to his office to discuss the donation, and the other kids had scattered, Cody, the one who supposedly hadn't been reborn, approached me. But that was wrong. The idea that he wasn't reborn was just my family's assumption, not the objective truth. Ethan Prescott, he suddenly shouted from behind me. I flinched and turned around without thinking. A smirk spread across Cody's face. His expression was terrifying. Showing your true colors, are we? So you don't have amnesia after all. Does that mean you were reborn too? I fought to control the tremor in my hands. I tilted my head, feigning a child's innocence. Huh? What are you talking about? I don't understand. Cody lunged forward, grabbing the collar of my shirt. Stop pretending, he hissed. Your name is Ethan Morgan, right? Then why did you turn around when I called you Ethan Prescott? If you don't have amnesia, if you weren't reborn, then what is it? I kept up the act. I turned around. The doctor said I have a concussion and I forgot things from the past. Does that mean my real name is Ethan Prescott? Did I get it wrong myself? Thanks for telling me. Can you stay and help me get my memory back? Cody paused, then let go of my collar. I was just trying to call your bluff, but it looks like I just stumbled into the truth. You turned around out of instinct because that's your real nah. Forget it. I was probably overthinking it. Looking at your stupid face, there's no way you were reborn. He turned to leave, but then another thought struck him. He spun back around. No, even if you really have amnesia, you might get your memory back someday. I can't let you recover and come back to fight me for the Prescott fortune. I have to kill you first. Seeing the look in his eyes, I braced myself and screamed at the top of my lungs. Ah! My scream was cut short as Cody tackled me to the ground. His hands closed around my neck. I couldn't breathe, and my vision started to swim with black spots. You little bastard, I'll kill you. Leo and the other kids arrived, just in time, pulling him off me. A few moments later, the adults, hearing the commotion, came running. Seeing his plan had failed, Cody scurried to hide behind my parents. He put on a pitiful act, pointing at me. Mom, Dad, Chloe, I'm so sorry. I've embarrassed you, but I had no choice. This kid said my clothes were nice and just rushed over and started trying to pull them off me. Wanted to wear them himself. I said no, so he hit me. I had to fight back. He couldn't win, so I ended up on top of him. Faced with his blatant lies, I scrambled to explain. No, I didn't. But my parents didn't believe a word of it. My sister was the first to sneer. You're the kind of trashy kid who just grabs other people's things. You have no shame. If I had a brother like you, I'd have gotten rid of him long ago. My mother looked me up and down as if I were a monkey in a zoo. Her tone was dripping with contempt. So he has amnesia, and he's a delinquent too? Keeping you at this children's home is a waste of resources. Aren't you ashamed of yourself, little boy? After seeing my mother and sister instantly take his side, Cody shot me a triumphant, mocking smirk when no one was looking. My father didn't even glance at me. His face was a tight knot of fury. He turned to Mr. Morgan. How do you educate the children in this home? We come here to make a donation, and this is how your kids treat the donors. Mr. Morgan was silent. I rushed to his side, terrified he would abandon me, ready to explain. But Mr. Morgan just patted my shoulder. He looked straight at my father and said, Mr. Prescott, I know the children in this home better than anyone. Not a single one of them has poor character, and none of them would ever try to steal something from someone else. My father's eyes glinted with menace. Mr. Morgan, what are you implying? That my son is lying? I am a donor to this home. I suggest you think very carefully before you speak. Mr. Morgan didn't back down. He stood up straight, his chest puffed out. Mr. Prescott, you are the one who should watch his tone. If you're going to threaten us with your donation, then we'd rather not have it. We believe in our children. Their integrity is priceless, and it's not something your money can tarnish. My father was speechless. Just then, the other children, led by Leo, stepped forward to defend me. We believe Ethan. He's not a bad kid. You're the bad guys. We don't want stuff from bad guys. Get out of here. Leave our home. The kids were furious, hands on their hips, bravely facing down the four Prescotts. Suddenly, one of them remembered something. He pulled a piece of candy from his pocket and threw on the ground. The others followed his lead, taking out the toys and snacks the Prescotts had just given them and hurling them at the family. Prescott Industries was a major corporation with enormous profits each year. The donations were things the kids rarely saw. Fancy cakes, new toys, clothes, school supplies. Who wants your stupid stuff? Leo yelled. He pulled a brand new soccer ball from behind his back and, with a powerful kick, sent it flying out of the yard. This was a kid who lived and breathed soccer, who stared longingly at the games on TV, who wanted a ball more than anything. Yet, without a moment's hesitation, he chose to believe in me and threw it away. In that instant, my heart swelled with gratitude. Fine. You don't want it. Is that right? My father raged. Then to hell with my donation. You little brats deserve to be poor for the rest of your lives. He was seething. He grabbed his family and stormed out of the children's home. After they left, the kids gathered around me. Leo's face was glowing with pride. Ethan, we were awesome, right? We drove the bad guys away. Hey, why are you crying? Did that little jerk hurt you? Mr. Morgan, we have to take Ethan to the... I cut him off, wiping the tears from my face. My emotions were a tangled mess. Leo, I don't need a doctor. I'm not hurt, it's just... I'm sorry, everyone. You could have had so many nice things, and because of me... Before I could finish, the kids pressed in closer. Leo spoke in a booming, carefree voice. Ethan, we already told you, we don't want stuff from jerks like them. The others chimed in to comfort me. Leo's right. If I use things from bad people, I'd probably have nightmares. Ethan, don't you dare say you're sorry. We're brothers. What we do for our brothers, we do because we want to. If you apologize, you'll just make me mad. Didn't Mr. Morgan tell us? We're family. Even if we have nothing, as long as we're together, we have the whole rock. Ugh, it's the whole world, not rock. You're such a dummy. Laughter filled the yard. A deep warmth spread through my chest. The incident passed, and no one mentioned it again, but it stayed with me. I felt like I had let them all down. A few days later, a middle-aged man visited the home. Mr. Stone, thank you so much for the donation from Stone Industries, Mr. Morgan was saying. With your corporation's help, I'm confident our children will be able to thrive. It was just another donor. At first, I didn't pay much attention, but when I heard the names Mr. Stone and Stone Industries, I froze. Stone Industries was one of Prescott Industries' main rivals. In my past life, after I joined the Prescott Corporation, I'd had many dealings with them. I know a lot about their business. Excuse me, sir, could I borrow you for a few minutes? I said, tugging on Mr. Stone's pant leg. Mr. Morgan tried to pull me away. Ethan, Mr. Stone isn't here to adopt anyone. I shook my head. Grandpa, I'm not asking to be adopted. I just want to talk to this gentleman about cars. If I'm not mistaken, the design and performance of automobiles are going to change in some interesting ways in the future. That piqued Mr. Stone's interest. Hold on, he said. What did you just say, young man? He walked over and crouched down on my eye level, his expression patient. One of Stone Industries' most important divisions was automotive. Drawing on my memories from my past life, I described the future direction of the car industry. I also mixed in some specific problems I knew Stone Industries was facing. The more I talked, the wider Mr. Stone's eyes grew. How old are you? How do you know all this? I lied. I don't know why I know so much. Maybe it's because before I lost my memory, my family was in business. I grew up listening to the adults talk about this stuff, so I guess I picked some of it up. Mr. Stone shook his head, a look of pity on his face. You lost your memory? What a shame. I pressed on. Sir, if what I've told you is helpful to your company, could you maybe make a donation to our children's home every once in a while? Mr. Stone agreed. Before he left, he asked Mr. Morgan about the process for adopting me. Mr. Morgan said the process was one thing, but they'd have to ask me what I wanted first. Who would want to leave their home? I turned down Mr. Stone's offer. Later, as expected, my ideas proved immensely beneficial to Stone Industries. Mr. Stone started visiting the home several times a year. He would donate money and supplies, and he would also chat with me about business. He He was always marveling at my business acumen and lamenting my amnesia. I never explained. I just took the soccer ball he handed me and went to find Leo. "Oh my God, Ethan," Leo exclaimed. "This is signed by my favorite soccer player." "Okay, what do you want your loyal servant to do?" After taking the ball, he was so excited he did a series of backflips on the spot. I smiled calmly. I asked Mr. Stone to get the autograph for you. "I don't want you to do anything. Just as long as you stick with your dream in the future, I'll be happy." The words sounded strange coming out of my mouth, like an old man giving advice to a youngster. I couldn't help it. My mind was that of an adult, and looking at these kids, I couldn't help but feel a little ancient. "By the way, Ethan," Leo said, tired from his flips. He sat down next to me. "Got all your stuff ready for high school? You're so smart. You got into the magnet school. My grades suck. I guess I won't be able to go to school with you anymore." A hint of sadness crept into his voice. I punched his shoulder lightly. "Who says you can't? Your grades aren't the best, but you're an amazing soccer player. You can totally get in on an athletic scholarship. Summer's almost over, and you'll be in 8th grade. You still have a whole year before you apply. I'll tutor you. I guarantee your grades will improve a lot." His face lit up again, and he started daydreaming about us going to high school together. A typical kid. His mood changed in an instant, but I didn't interrupt him. I just listened. That night, back in the dorm, I did a final check of the things I needed for the next day and fell asleep. It was just the start of high school. A new environment might be a little unsettling, but I wasn't a kid anymore. I wouldn't be nervous. Crap, why am I so nervous? I ran into Cody in my homeroom class. Cody's grades weren't good enough for this magnet school, but the Prescott family had donated 2 new buildings, so he got in without a problem. And by some cruel twist of fate, he was assigned to my class. I told myself it had been almost 10 years. He probably didn't recognize me. It didn't matter. We could just be classmates. I had underestimated him. He was a reborn person, too. How could he not recognize me? I was walking back to my classroom from the restroom when Cody suddenly yelled that his watch was gone. Without a second thought, his posse started forcibly searching everyone in the class. Of course, they found the missing watch in my backpack. They backed me into a corner, spitting insults. One of them even started a live stream, inviting strangers online to join the shaming. I looked at Cody with a sense of detached amusement. All these years, and he was still terrified I'd regain my memory and challenge him for the family fortune. You'd think my absence would have made his position in the Prescott family even stronger. "Ethan, we're coming. Nobody messes with my brother." The kids from Spring Meadows who went to the nearby middle school saw the live stream. They ditched class and came running. Leo led the charge, storming into my classroom to save me. He and the others descended on Cody's crew, and a full-blown fight broke out. Security arrived quickly to break it up, followed soon after by the police. After a brief investigation, my name was cleared. It was obvious Cody and his friends had orchestrated the whole thing. Our homeroom teacher's face was grim. He told Cody's group to call their parents. To my surprise, the first to arrive was my sister, Chloe. She was in our grade. Her eyes widened when she saw me, but she went straight to the teacher to understand the situation before saying anything. When she heard what had happened, she turned on Cody, her rage finally boiling over. "When will it end, Cody? Do you have any idea how much this family loves you? How much we spoil you? Never mind Mom and Dad. I held myself back 2 grades just to be in the same year as you at the same school, to watch over you. Don't you have a conscience? You steal from us at home, and now you're at school framing people." Her eyes were red, and she was screaming so hard her voice went raw. Cody just stood there, looking completely unfazed. Her words meant nothing to him. It was getting late, long past the end of the school day. Seeing that I wasn't needed anymore, I let the teacher know I was leaving and headed back to the home. Leo and the others had to go back to their own school to get their bikes. I waved goodbye, hopped on my own bike at the school gate, and started pedaling towards Spring Meadows. HSSSSS. After about 15 minutes, something felt wrong. I got off and saw my tire was flat. It must have been punctured by something sharp on the road. Looks like I was walking the rest of the way. Half an hour later, I heard familiar voices. "Up 2, 3, 4. Almost back to the home, guys. Pick up the pace." "I'm starving." "Ethan, what are you doing here? At the speed you bike, shouldn't you have been back ages ago?" It was Leo and the others. They screeched to a halt when they saw me, their jogging turning into a panting stop. I felt a tightness in my chest. My voice was sharp with anger. "I thought you said you were going back to your school to get your bikes. Where are they?" Under my interrogation, one of the younger kids finally cracked and told the truth. There was only one bicycle at the children's home. It was mine. The other kids ran to and from school every day. Not only that, but the amount spent on my food, clothes, and supplies was several times what the other children received. The kids all said I was a genius, the future of the country, so I deserved the best. I knew I had no right to be angry, but I couldn't stop my voice from rising. How could Mr. Morgan and the others do this? I'm going to talk to them. Leo grabbed my arm, stopping me. Ethan, don't. This was all our idea. We did it secretly. Mr. Morgan and the staff don't know anything about it. Don't blame them. If you're going to be mad at someone, be mad at me. He fell silent, his head hanging low, afraid of my scolding. How could I possibly scold them? For so many years, because I was reborn, I'd seen myself as an adult who needed to take care of these children. But all along, it was they who had been quietly taking care of me. I was the selfish one. If I had paid just a little more attention, how could I have not noticed these details? Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you. I'm sorry. I was speaking nonsense, my voice choked with emotion. I pulled them all into a hug, a tight one. I didn't let go. Hello, Mr. Stone. I call the CEO of Stone Industries. Years ago, I had helped his company make great strides in the automotive sector. He had continued to visit and chat with me about business for a while, but I had always kept it casual, never touching on anything too critical. I was afraid of my rebirth being exposed, afraid of the Prescotts finding me and locking me away. Eventually, Mr. Stone's visits became less frequent. Now, I couldn't hold back anymore. I got in touch with Mr. Stone and laid out several innovative strategies. Then I made my request. Same as before, if possible, please continue to donate generously to the children's home. Of course, this feels like a transaction. My idea is for your donations. So I have another proposal. Mr. Stone, I'll be an adult soon. If my plans prove to be significantly beneficial to your corporation, could I perhaps hold a position there? After all, it's one thing to have you donate money. It's another for me to earn it and donate it myself. A few months passed. I fed Stone Industries a few simple ideas from my past life's memory. Their market revenue doubled. Mr. Stone was thrilled. He promised me a consultant position at the company as soon as I turned 18. And of course, Stone Industries made another massive donation. Every kid at the home got their own bicycle. No more running to and from school. And as I had expected, my rebirth was exposed. Dear teachers, fellow students, good morning. It is my great honor to stand before you as the outstanding student representative. At school, I was always in the top 3 of my grade. After the final exams of the semester, the school held an assembly on the athletic field. I went on stage to give a speech. When I finished, I walked off stage to return to my class line. As I passed through the corridor behind the stage, I was stopped. It was my sister and my parents. Chloe looked at me with far less hostility in her eyes. Instead, there was deep regret. My parents looked the same. Son, my father said, his voice soft. You've suffered all these years at the children's home. Their loving act was so absurd it was almost funny. I feigned confusion. Who are you? They grew anxious, insisting they were my family. I shook my head and asked the crucial question. If you're really my family, then why didn't you look for me for all those years? The 3 of them had a variety of spectacular expressions on their faces. My father paused, then his tone hardened. Ethan Prescott, stop pretending you have amnesia. We not only know you don't have amnesia, we also know you're a reborn person. Stone Industries suddenly became so successful. We looked into it. It was you giving them advice. If you weren't reborn, how could you possibly have helped them double their revenue? As he finished, smug expressions appeared on all 3 of their faces, as if exposing my secret was some glorious achievement. The charade was over. There was no point in hiding it anymore. I stood up straight. It's true, I was pretending to have amnesia, I said slowly. That's because I was afraid. Afraid that for the sake of your precious Cody, you would drag me back and lock me in the basement. The 3 of them froze, petrified on the spot. Slowly, my mother's lips parted. Son, she stammered, did you come home at some point? And you overheard us talking? She wanted to explain, but no explanation would suffice. Slap. The sharp sound of a palm hitting cheek echoed in the corridor. It was Chloe, slapping her own face. She approached me, her face contorted with remorse. Ethan, Mom, Dad, and I were wrong, but it was all because of Cody. We felt so guilty about what happened to him in our last life. We wanted to make it up to him in this one. We never thought he was just a bad person. He never stopped stealing from the house. We couldn't take it anymore. We kicked him out. Ethan, come home, she pleaded. We're your family. I stared at them for a long moment, then I laughed. If I wasn't a success, if you hadn't finally seen Cody for who he really is, would you ever have wanted me as your family? Home. My home is the Spring Meadows Children's Home. My family is there. As for you, I don't know you. Stay away from me. I turned and walked away, ignoring their desperate calls. The 3 Prescotts were full of regret. From that day on, they relentlessly tried to get me to come back. They donated money to the home. They bought me expensive gifts, They stood outside the gates of Spring Meadows for nights on end in the freezing cold to prove their sincerity. They even had someone beat Cody up to show me they no longer cared for him. What is wrong with these hypocrites? I didn't give them the time of day. After I turned 18, I officially joined Stone Industries as a consultant. With a salary, I could better help care for the children at the home. Did you hear what happened to the Prescott family? It was 3 years after my college graduation. I had been promoted to a director position at Stone Industries. One afternoon, Mr. Stone and I were having coffee when he casually brought them up. I heard Cody was their adopted son. Terrible character, always stealing things. After they kicked him out, he burned through all his money and started selling Prescott Industries trade secrets to pay his debts. Robert Prescott couldn't stand it anymore and had him beaten up pretty badly. Cody, furious, tricked the whole family into gathering in one place. Then he set a fire. Whoosh. The whole family went up in smoke. So that's what happened, I thought. No wonder the Prescotts, who had been constantly trying to get my attention, had suddenly disappeared. But I had long since stopped caring about them. All I said to Mr. Stone was, I see. It finally made sense why the Prescotts, who had been popping up in my life constantly, had suddenly vanished. Not that it mattered. I had put them out of my mind long ago. My only response to Mr. Stone's story was a simple, ring ring. My phone buzzed. It was Leo. I answered, and his excitement crackled through the line. Ethan, my team is heading to the World Cup. His joy was infectious. I couldn't help but smile. Years had passed, and the kids from Spring Meadows had all achieved their dreams, or were well on their way. Everyone was doing great. Gotta go. Coach is yelling at me to get back to practice, Leo said. I'll come back and see you guys for the holidays. Bye. Okay, I replied. We'll be waiting for you at the home. Waiting for you all, I thought. My family. The end.